So this is the primary, folks, and it's starting to get nasty.
The thing that is not normal is for me to be attacked from the left. That is the new wild card in this scenario. But it's just interesting. And, I've been asked a couple of times, a couple of things about it. And, I look at this specifically as a civil rights lawyer, and I see when they're sending out ads and they're darkening my skin, and I'm just like, I know what this is, right? And the reality is that, yes, I woke up a black woman. I was born a black woman. I know I'm a black woman, for everybody that didn't think I didn't know. Just FYI. Just FYI. But I am not running on the fact that I'm a black woman. I am running on my credentials. And frankly, if no one wants to talk about my credentials or what it is that they are going to do for you, then that should be what's most alarming. This election ain't about me. Election is about us.
Wow. I actually had not seen that. I did not see it. Is she serious? All she talks about is being a black woman. Well, I can't believe it.
You can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression.
Ooh, it did happen.
We didn't ask to be here. We not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle.
Historically inaccurate. White people were absolutely slaves, and in fact, she probably doesn't realize that there was the landmark case that allowed slaves to be slaves for their entire lives was brought up by a black slave owner. So she just again, and she's an attorney. That's not going to age well. She probably needs to go back and rethink some of the things that she says.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. She always talks in racial terms. She looks at everything through a racial lens. So for her to say she's not running a race because she's a black woman is entirely false.
I tell you that I got into this race knowing that on the day that I decided that I woke up as a black woman. I got into this race knowing that there would be unique challenges to my candidacy simply because, unfortunately, America can't get over herself. I woke up knowing that the reality is that I didn't become the 55th black woman nor elected to the Congress and the 22nd black woman ever elected to the state house and the 4th black woman elected to go to DC from Texas. I can tell you that my path has always been a little different and a little bit more challenging. I'm here to tell you that I got into this race.
I mean, if we were playing a drinking game and two words were black woman, I'd be falling on the floor drunk.
Everybody in the podcast would be getting tipsy like this song.
What is she talking? These people lie so much they don't even remember the lies they say. Michelle, what are your thoughts there?
Now, you all know that I can't see her without the theme song of Davy Crockett. So here we go, another chronicle of crazy, crazy Crockett. Her entire, all of her credentials, every credential I've ever heard out of her own mouth has been about her being a black woman. In fact, that was one of the more well-spoken interviews she's done, because usually she's not only a black woman, but she's a fictitious version of herself as a black woman. She actually plays a caricature of a black woman when she's out on the path. It's cackling girl, don't you know? She says the most ridiculous things. She puts on a fake ghetto accent when she goes out everywhere she goes. We're going to forget the Hot Wheels comment she made about the governor. Are we just going to forget that on the biggest platforms, she makes a fool of herself? And it's all about, you can't say anything to me unless you're a black woman, unless you've been through what I've been through. All she does is wave her black card. So I have a question for Crazy Crockett, Jasmine. You know, are you ashamed of being dark skinned then? I mean, is there a problem with you then being black and the shading being off, and so that you represent a dark black skinned woman? Because you're all about identity politics. For me, like right now, the lighting, I got to get my cameras right because even my daughter's like, Mom, you look really pale with your lights. It's like, I get it, but everybody knows I'm biracial, I'm mixed, I'm black woman, whatever. I don't even care. But she cares. She cares, and she made it clear on that she cares about being black and what shade of black she is now. Take note of that, ladies and gentlemen. She cares about that. All of a sudden, she's a civil rights lawyer. My civil rights were violated listening to her nonsense for the last 2 years. Can we get another attorney on that?
I can't believe she said that. I am dumbfounded over that. Kung Fu CJ with a $2 super chat says, did she say she is a civil rights lawyer? What the WTH? Yes. But folks, you heard, she literally said she's not running on her skin color. That's all she has ran on. This Kung Fu CJ with the $5 super chat says, Anthony Johnson would disagree because he had 2 white slaves. Thank you so much.
That's who I was referring to. So it's really his case that made it so that slaves could be slaves forever, essentially. And if you want to argue that other white slave owners, saw this landmark case and then said, yes, this is great, you're onto something, so be it. But again, this is historical ignorance. This is playing to a base. She knows when to say these things and she knows when not to. Right? She has become an excellent politician, and by excellent, I mean a really good liar, but not a great legislator. Yeah. Unfortunately for the United States, unfortunately for all of us, and she's just insufferable. Frankly, she's insufferable.
Absolutely. And so, what's going on, as we mentioned, she's running against James Talarico. She is getting what she calls this racial dynamic from the Democrats. Mm-hmm. So apparently the Democrat Party, they don't want her to win this Senate seat. They are all really like the establishment is rooting for James Talarico. Well, unfortunately for them, because they play in identity politics, mm-hmm. and they tell us how the white man is the oppressor, the black people are the oppressed. James Talarico is white. All right. And so this all took, boiled to a head recently due to his appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where the taping was yanked by CBS due to fears of violating the FCC's equal time rule. So this rule requires broadcasters to offer equal airtime to opposing candidates in the Texas Democratic Senate primary. Of course, we say it's Talarico versus Jasmine Crockett. Colbert blamed it on Trump, saying that he calling it censorship because CBS pushed back, saying they just flagged legal risk and offered alternatives. So they're saying, President Trump wanted to remove Talarico from there, but no, this was due to I guess it was due to them saying they pulled it because they needed equal time, meaning you need to allow Jasmine Crockett to come on if they don't want Talarico, and Talarico did try to blame it. He doesn't want her to come on because he's running in this race. Am I making it clear, Michelle?
Absolutely. You don't want to give equal time to somebody whose time is it might actually hurt you. Right. So what he was hoping for is that he would get the airtime great, and and not everybody has the same regulations. You can get away with it in different states in different ways, and we know that some people get different airtime, or they don't talk about politics as long as they're on and they're doing something else. But yeah, they don't want her on. They don't want to give her that airtime, and they would be forced to give her that airtime. It's probably better just to pull it. How funny that, again, let me just remind you that the left will devour itself. Evil will devour evil. Mm-hmm. Wicked, it just is always the case that they will tear each other apart and decide who's the bigger victim, who's the better villain. It's really interesting to watch this play out right now.
Yeah, it really is. Folks, as you come in, hit that like button, please. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and we appreciate the support.